Welcome back, my amazing kindergarten students. It's Miss Johnson here, and we are in Domain 3, Lesson 4 of Stories. Now, we've been reading some pretty great stories, and today's story is The Wolf and the 7 Little Kids. The title of the story is The Wolf and the 7 Kids. Today you're going to hear a folk tale about a wolf who tries to become friends with a family of goats. I want you to listen carefully to find out how the wolf and the kids become friends. Some key vocabulary words that you're going to hear today include bleated, made the sound or cry of a goat or sheep. Disguises, makes oneself look like someone or something else. Kids are young goats. Miller, one who works in, operates, or owns a mill, a building where grain is ground into flour. And terrified, deeply afraid. There once was a mother goat who had 7 little kids, and she loved them as well as any mother ever loved her children. Kids is a word for baby goats. One day, she gathered her 7 kids around her and said, "Dear children, I must go into the forest to get food for us to eat. While I'm away, do not open the door for anyone, especially the wolf. You will always know him by his rough voice and the dark gray fur on his paws." "Don't worry, Mother," said the kids. "We will take good care of ourselves." So the mother goat bleated goodbye and went on her way with a calm mind. Now, bleated means she cried like this, "Bye." Meanwhile, the wolf was all alone in the forest. He never had anyone to play with, as the other animals were scared of him. This made him quite sad. But he thought maybe if the 7 kids got to know him, they would want to play with him. The wolf decided that he would disguise himself in order to get the kids to give him a chance. Soon there came a knock at the door, and a voice cried out, "Open the door, my dear children. Your mother is back and has bought you each something." But oh, what a rough voice. The kids thought surely it must be too soon for their mother to be back. "No, we won't open the door," cried the kids. "Our mother has a sweet, gentle voice, and your voice is rough. You must be the wolf." And so the kids went on playing, feeling very proud of themselves. The wolf felt very sad, for he could not help that his voice was rough. He ran off to the store where he bought a big lump of special kind of chalk, which he ate to make his voice soft. Then he came back and knocked on the door and called out in a gentle voice this time, "Open the door, my dear children. Your mother is back and has bought you each something." The wolf felt for sure that this time the kids would open the door and that he could prove to them that he was actually a very nice wolf. But the poor wolf had to put his paws against the window, and the kids could see his dark gray fur. "No, we won't open the door," cried the kids. "Our mother's feet do not have gray fur. You must be the wolf." Again, the kids went on playing, feeling even prouder that they had identified the wolf by his paws. Again, the poor wolf felt sad, for he could not help that his fur was dark gray. And so he ran to the baker. "Baker," he said, "please spread some dough over my paws." And when the baker had coated his paws with dough, the wolf went to the miller. The miller is a person who works at a mill and makes flour. "Miller," he said, "please sprinkle some white flour over my paws." Now the wolf's feet looked just like mother goat's. The wolf thought for sure this time that the kids would open the door so he could show them what a nice and fun wolf he was. So for a third time, the wolf knocked at the door and said in his gentle voice, "Open the door, my children. Your mother is back and has brought you each something." The wolf was almost smiling. He was so excited to play with the kids. "First, show us your feet," said the kids. And the wolf put his white, flower-covered paws against the window. "Yes, this must be our dear mother," said the kids as they opened the door. In pounced the wolf, ready to play. The terrified kids tried to hide because they did not know that the wolf was actually nice. Terrified means they were really scared. The first one ran under the table. The second one crawled under the bed. The third hid under a rug. The fourth one ran into the kitchen. The fifth one jumped in the cupboard board. And the sixth one ran into the tub. The seventh one climbed into the big grandfather clock. Now the wolf thought the kids must be playing a great game of hide and seek. He thought that if he found them all, the kids would finally want to come play with him. So the wolf found all of them except for the youngest, which was hiding where? In the grandfather clock. The other kids were so scared when the wolf found them that they just passed out asleep. The wolf was so scared that the other animals would blame him, so he took the kids into the forest to wait for them to wake up. The wolf, tired from all that excitement, strolled into the forest, laid under a tree, and fell into a deep sleep next to the 6 sleeping kids. A short while after, the mother goat came home. Quite a sight met her eyes. The door was wide open. Tables and chairs were thrown about, dishes were broken, quilts and pillows were torn off the bed. She called out for her children, but they were nowhere to be found. She called each one again by their name, but nobody answered, until she called the name of the youngest kid. "Here I am, Mother," a little voice cried. "Here, inside the big grandfather clock." The mother goat helped her youngest child out of the clock. Now the youngest kid was quite sensitive and had realized that the wolf thought the kids were playing a game of hide and seek. If you are sensitive, boys and girls, that means you understand the feelings of other people. He told his mother so, and they went off into the forest and found the other kids and the wolf and explained the misunderstanding. There they saw the wolf fast asleep under a tree, snoring so hard that he shook the branches. Then the mother goat saw the rest of her kids sleeping there, hidden behind the big wolf. "Dear me," she thought, "how peaceful they are sleeping." No sooner had she had that thought than one of her little kids and finally the wolf woke up. When the kids woke up, they saw their dear mother and their youngest brother smiling at them, and they instantly felt happy. Their mother told them that the poor wolf was actually a kind animal who had just wanted to play, and they danced around celebrating their newfound friendship with the wolf. Well, boys and girls, I don't know about you, but I'm glad to know that that was a nice, friendly wolf. Let's jump into some questions. Who remembers the title of today's story? You guessed it, The Wolf and the 7 Little Kids. Where do the kids stay while their mother goes into the forest? That's right, they stay at home. And who knocks on the door and pretends to be the mother goat? You guessed it, the big wolf. Now let's jump into some word work. In the read aloud you heard, the terrified kids tried to hide because they did not know the wolf was actually nice. Can you say that word terrified with me 3 times? Let's go. Terrified, terrified, terrified. If someone is terrified, he or she is very scared. Maya is terrified of thunderstorms because she doesn't like loud noises. Have you ever been terrified before? I want you to use that word several times today. Let's play a quick game. I'm going to name some things, and I want you to think if you would be terrified. You're going to answer by saying, I would be terrified. If you don't think you would be terrified, I want you to say, I would not be terrified. Here we go. How would a puppy make you feel? I don't know about you, but I would not be terrified of a puppy. How about a thunderstorm? Some friends might be terrified, so I would be terrified of a thunderstorm. How about a rainbow? No, I wouldn't be terrified of a rainbow. A tree? I don't think I would be terrified of a tree. How about a wolf? Well, in this story, I wouldn't be terrified of a wolf, but in some other stories, you might be terrified of a wolf. And our last word, a spider. Now, for most people, they would be terrified, so I would be terrified of a spider. Boys and girls, it was great reading story time with you today. Until we see each other real soon, bye.